What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another college basketball season. We are back in action tonight, Monday, November 3rd. We got a nice slate of college basketball action coming our way. Really, it's tipped off a little bit earlier today and then through the night tonight. I found a few plays that I like. Not going to go crazy, right? It's the first night, so we're going to keep it a little conservative, right? But I did find three plays that I like. We're going to go over those here in this video. If you're not new to the channel, obviously I did move. There's nothing on these walls as you can see. And as I'm talking right now, this is my first time recording in this room. I can hear the echo myself. So I'm hoping it's not too bad for you guys. If it is, I do apologize. And it's obviously something that I'm going to have to look into. So we're going to have to figure that one out, but that's for another time, man. We got to go ahead and get into these plays. That way you guys have enough time to look into it yourself and make some plays on it yourself if you'd like to as well. Now here's the thing, man. As the season goes on, these videos will probably, evolve and probably throw in different segments and things like that. But obviously, we're at the opening stages of the college basketball season, so not a lot of data to go off of. We kind of need to feel things out a little bit. So, like I said, we'll be conservative for this first week, maybe first 2 weeks. And as things go on, you'll start seeing more plays come in, probably more segments, like I said. I can't bet on player props here in Ohio. So I don't know how much I'll dive into that. Just going to be completely honest with you guys. It is something that I could talk about still. I just don't, I'm not going to be betting on it myself. So I want to be fully transparent about that. If it is something I'm talking about, I'm not actually putting my money on it because I can't, So we'll see what we do with that regard. I don't have any player props here in this video, but enough rambling on, man. At the end of the day, if you guys like what you saw, make sure you check down there into that pinned comment. There's going to be a link down there that's going to send you over to the Guy Boston Sports website. And that's where you'll see the final plays that I roll with for this slate today. Now, it's going to be these three plays I'll talk about, but if you want kind of a reference, you can go back there to the Guy Boston Sports website. And that's how it's going to work, every day with these videos. That's where the final plays will live. So, nothing else to do but to dive into the action, man. Smash that like button down there for me if you can, guys, and hit subscribe if you have not already. Let's go ahead and jump into it, man. I'm going to be looking at that marquee matchup of the night, man. It's going to be the first one that we're looking at here, Florida and Arizona. And we got the defending champs opening up the year. They're ranked third in the nation. Arizona coming in at 13th. Man, this projects to be a pretty fun one here with two teams and coaches who prefer to push the tempo and the pace. Florida, they won 12 games in a row to close out the season last year on their way to winning it all. And they return this season, man, looking to repeat on the strength of their front court and the hopes that the transfers in their backcourt, led by Arkansas transfer Boogie Flan, can offset the departures of Walter Clayton, Elijah Martin, and Will Richards. Man, that's a lot of depth that Florida's losing back there in that backcourt. Now, this match is going to be played on a neutral site. We've seen Florida and this staff have success in this regard in the past. And that advantage down low that they still have from last season into this season as well should allow the Gators to control the paint and win the battle on the glass here in this one. Rebounding and winning the turnover battle, it tends to prove pretty big in these neutral site matches. Florida was not only significantly more efficient with the ball offensively than Arizona was last season, they also forced a ton more turnovers as well, sitting at 17th for turnover percentage defensively, while Arizona was all the way down at 210th. So I like Florida here, man, but I do think Arizona can keep it close. I think Florida can grind this one out, right? Grind out a win in this spot on the back of that front court. But I don't want to worry about points here in the opener, man. So I would just lean with Florida on the money line here personally. It's sitting at minus 145. It's definitely juiced, right? But me personally, I'd rather just play it that way. And like I said, just not have to worry about any kind of points if this one does end up being on the closer side. Now, in that regard, I wouldn't mind looking at the total in this one either, man. The over is a really popular choice, and it does make sense at first glance with the style that these two are going to look to play at. But with Florida integrating so many new pieces along the perimeter, and then Arizona, while I do believe Florida has the better of the front courts here out of the two, Arizona aren't some scrubs down low on their end either. More post play is going to result in more free throw attempts, more putback attempts, just a muddier game in general. So I think we see some first game jitters with each side bringing in new pieces in the backcourt on a neutral site in a big game to open up the season. I think we see some rush shots, some sloppy play at times throughout this one. So I would lean towards under with that total sitting up high where it's at. The next game I'll be looking at Lehigh versus Houston. Looking at the total in this one, it's sitting at 137.5. Now, Houston under coach Kelvin Sampson, man, they've been consistently a team that plays at a slower pace, limiting possessions on both sides of the ball. Houston's defenses, man, under Sampson have just been downright suffocating, right? They limit teams in transition, they dominate on the glass, they force opponents into tough contested shots regularly, almost every time down the court. So opponents struggle to generate buckets against Houston, and they have to fight for every single one when they play against them. While the Cougars, they play at such a slow pace on the other end that even when they are at their most efficient, and they're at their best, the overall possessions per game just typically aren't enough for either side to put up enough points. So I don't think Lehigh is going to be able to force Houston outside of their game and how they're going to look to play in this one. So I'm going to be rolling with an under looking at this game. Then the last game I'm looking at, Villanova taking on BYU. Now, BYU, man, they're coming into this season with a lot of buzz. They got that NBA style offense over there that relies heavily on the three ball. And they got a really nice, 6'9" jumbo wing freshman coming into the mix as well. Villanova, on the other hand, they have a new coach, a new system, and a slew of injuries to their backcourt coming into this opener. And this one's being played at a neutral site as well. This one is being played in Vegas. So BYU, they could have the upper hand there as well, with the game being played closer to their home fan base. Villanova, they're going to look to slow this thing way down, right? That's what they do, and force BYU inside and off of that three-point line. But with all the injuries along the perimeter, the talent and the pace that BYU plays at, I'm not sure Villanova is going to find much success in that regard. So give me BYU in this one, guys. That is going to wrap us up here for our first college basketball video of the season. Guys, if you enjoyed the show, if you found the content helpful and useful, please don't forget to smash that like button on your way out. Hit subscribe if you have not already. That's going to do it, man. Hope you guys all have yourselves a great night. Enjoy this opening night of college basketball, and I'm going to see you back tomorrow for the next one.